Jack Grealish, congratulations. It was a tight one, wasn't it, Jack?
It was, yeah. I was just saying to Karen then, off air, like, it was... Obviously, they've got a few injuries, they had 2 at the start of the game also. So it was one of them games, especially for me sitting on the bench thinking, we could dominate this. And it weren't the case at all, I think it was a tough game. I thought Chelsea would play brilliant, especially in certain parts of the game, especially in the first half. They probably had more chances. But yeah, we obviously got the goal, and after that it was backs against the wall, really. So we're just obviously buzzing, to come here and get 3 points, because we know how tough it is to come here.
But it was a very different second half. Was it quite lively in there at half-time?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Yeah, it was. Obviously, the manager changed a few things. Had a few words with us, and yeah, I think we come out and I think for the first 20, 30 minutes, especially in the second half, we dominated, had more chances, and I think obviously once we got the goal, we felt like we had control of the game, but they still had a fair few themselves.
Yeah, well, one goal was enough, Jack. You obviously had a big part to play in it with the assist for Riyad, who had also come off the bench. Talk us through your role in it here.
I haven't actually seen it back yet.
You're just staying wide. You're hugging the touchline on this side.
Yeah, no, that's what obviously the manager said to me. He says when you come on, be aggressive, attack Azpilicueta and stay high and wide, which I've done here. Do you know what? It was weird because I was just speaking to Riyad then inside, and he says to me, he was like, he thought the keeper was going to get it at one point, and so did I. When I've crossed it, the first thing, I've put my head down to cross it, and straight away I'm thinking, nah, Erling's got to be somewhere. But obviously,
gotta be somewhere. So you're just hitting a space, are you?
I'm just hitting because obviously he's always in there, isn't he? And I just says to him, I says, where was you in there? And he goes, because everyone went, he goes, I pulled back. But yeah, I don't know, I felt like the keeper was going to get it at one point. But
did you expect him to?
I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm going to praise my cross. Honestly, when it obviously went across the goal, yeah, the first time I've looked up, I thought I've played that too close to him. Do you know what I mean?
But Jack, how have you found it at City? You are a player that comes off the line and try to find spaces, and Pepper likes his wide players to stay wide and high and be disciplined and wait for the moment, and you want the ball. How have you found it?
Do you know what? I've said before a few times, it's so much different to what I was used to. Obviously, I don't want to keep going back to Aston Villa, but to what I was used to at Aston Villa, when I played for like Dean Smith and stuff, he'd say to me, go and find where you think the weak link is in the defence. If you want to go on the right, in the middle, if you want to hug the touchline, and just certain stuff. At City, at Villa, I always had like an overlapping fullback and stuff like this. So coming to City, I've been at Villa my whole life, and I've never had to change. I've always been used to that. I didn't realise how hard it is, to adapt to another team and another manager. And then when I come here, I'll be honest with you, it was so much more difficult than I thought. In my head, I was thinking, going to the team that I sit in top of the league, I'm going to get so many goals, assists. And obviously, it isn't the case. It's so much more difficult. A lot of teams do tend to sit in against us, which is obviously wasn't the case at Villa. So,
Jack, do you think then in games like this, where it's been tough the first half, actually sitting and seeing the game pan out, coming on as a sub like you did and making the impact, actually sometimes better?
Yeah, obviously, you sit there on the bench and you're watching the game, you're observing it and seeing, what Phil's doing in the type of position that I'm going to come on into if I do come on. But I always want to start, of course. Every player does. But yeah, listen, I've been here now 18 months and I'm still, getting used to it. I'll be honest with you, but no, I'm enjoying it. Honestly, it's a great group of lads, and it's obviously a pleasure to work under Pep.
We saw the goal, your lovely relationship that you got with Riyad Mahrez on the pitch. We love this. I'm fascinated by this in the warm-up always, Jack. Actually, it wasn't your best efforts tonight. It was a bit windy, tonight. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
But still.
See, touch is too high, isn't it, there? No, we do it all the time. Do you know what? I'm so close with Riyad, and we were warming up together, and we were saying to, I'd love to come on here, because the game, it felt a bit more open to, we've had games this season against Everton, Brentford, where they've had a back five, and they've like sat in against us. And today, with a back four, and it just seemed it seemed so much more open than games we've had. And we were saying to each other, obviously desperate to come on and And obviously the manager told Riyad to go and warm up. He didn't actually tell me. So I thought, I'm going to warm up here. I said, I ain't even coming on. And then next thing you know, Riyad was like, Jack, come, we're going on. I was like, oh, buzzing, see you later. So obviously come on, and it was the perfect.
The manager knows you don't have to get warm, Jack. It's just in you. By the way, did you know that you two went to the same school? Little Bird told me.
I know. I've known that for a while. That's where our
Mr. Sequel.
Mr. Sequel, yeah. That's where our brainy minds come from.
And your footballing ability.
And
Let's put it that way. Jack,
yeah.
thank you so much for talking to us. We've got to let you go. Well done, mate.
See you later.
St. Peter's in Solihull. Shout out for Jack Grealish, the most expensive English footballer of all time.